Morning, everybody. So let's have a look at the Dow. And again, if you're a new viewer or you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help us grow this channel. Many hands make light work. So if you've got some ideas, comments, questions, please ask them so we can get engaging. Okay, so the weekly. For me, the Dow weekly, we have a rejection here. Okay, so the weekly bar, where we closed off, that is a pin bar, it's a rejection bar, and it's a rejection bar off multiple levels. Okay, so we have rejected Kijinson, which is a red line, and we've also closed below Tekinson, so we've had a rejection off Tekinson as well. So the key level for today is going to be weekly Tekinson. Let's get down to the daily now. So one thing that I have spotted here is we have broken this trend line on the daily and we've come back to test it. Okay, and you can see how Tekinson is where the profit taking happened on Friday. Now, bear in mind that if you just think logically now, traders that were in on this market, so that had bought in down here, and with all the trade war tension going on, okay, and the nonsense going on in Syria, then what basically could have happened on Friday is the traders could have just decided, well, hang on a second, I'm getting out of my position, so I'm selling, and this move to the downside was just profit taking. Okay, and if that's the case, then we have a channel. Okay, so that's the one scenario. And if this is a channel, then you would expect us to move to the upside again. The other scenario that could be playing out is this wedge. Okay, so Friday could have been, starting on Wednesday, it could have basically been the guys starting to build short positions because they're anticipating this trade war to get a little bit more serious. So if that is the case, then what you would expect is a retest, an attempt at a retest here, and the question is whether we get above the weekly Tekinson, okay, because that is a very strong level of resistance at the moment, because we've got a weekly close below it. So that is an area of resistance that is key. And it kind of lines up with that breakout there. You see this rejection here where it was used as support, and then here you can see, and there, and here. So it is a very strong level. And we'll probably find, if we go back, okay, there was a bit of engagement. There's almost some engagement with it. So it's a strong level. Okay. So for price to go up, we're going to need the world saying, whoa, trade war is over. Okay. It's not that serious, and earnings is way more important, and we continue on this upside. I have my doubts. Okay. So, and then on the daily, there are a couple of things that's happened. So we've had a bullish crossover here, but that's it. Jiggle span and the cloud is still both bearish. Okay. And we've bounced off the bottom of the cloud, which is bearish. So in my mind, this level, if this weekly level holds, so in other words, we don't get above it and close above it by Friday, then there is more downside coming. Okay, then this trend, and if you look at this on the weekly, so let me just draw that trend line on the weekly. Okay, so if I draw that trend line on the weekly here, I haven't really broken out of this trend line, this downward trend. You see what I mean? It's kind of almost a rejection of that trend line as well. So you see the slight difference between the way it draws out on the daily and how it draws out on the weekly. So yeah, so for me, I have a feeling this wedge is what's going to play out, okay? Maybe wrong. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball. That may actually be a channel, and we play up to the upside and break through the cloud here and get above T-Consen on the weekly. But the way that we closed off on the weekly and the price was pushed down below T-Consen for a close, that to me is a rejection, okay? So let's get to the the 4 hour. So you can see the cloud there's no signal on the cloud. Chico span has broken through price here, which is bearish. We've had a bearish crossover here. Okay, we're sitting on the 200 EMA at the moment. So we've got some levels of support here. But yeah, I think for me, let's put this level in as well. So this bar here was the previous breakout. So if that holds, then we have more downside coming. Okay, and probably to test this tail, test this tail, test that tail, this tail, that tail. So, and it'll do it in that order, because as we get into the cloud, it's just going to be technically from ichimoku perspective, when you're in the cloud, then it's basically your neutral price is ranging. Okay, so yeah, I think this is another one where we're going to have to get down to the hour. I mean, you can see what's happening now. It's chaos. There's no real conviction. And on the hour, we are bearish. Okay, everything from an ichimoku's perspective is bearish. We've had a crossover here. We've had a twist. We've had a death cross with TK, with T-Consen and Kijinsen, right? And we've had Chico span that's broken through the cloud price and sitting below price at the moment. Okay, and then this barbed wire that's happening here, sort of on the daily pivot as well, and underneath the 200 EMA. So yeah, so I think for me, it's still the wedge is going to play out. I think I'm more bearish than bullish on this. What do we want to see? I think so we have this level here, and we have another level there. Okay, let's just put a block there. So right now we have an area of resistance which is there. Okay, and I think, let me just show you something with this. When I talk about an area of resistance, all these tails in this area. So there's the closest breakout, which is that tail there. And then you've got this tail, you've got to open at the bottom, at the top of that box. You've got the weekly T-Consen. Okay, so you've got all these levels, and if I extend to the side, you'll see I can extend this box across and incorporate that tail. I can incorporate those tails. I can incorporate this open here. I incorporate these tails. There's some more. So you can see this is a big area that we broke through and stayed below and closed below last week. So it's going to take quite a bit of effort to break back to the upside. It's going to take a a really positive vibe on the trade war that may push us up. So I don't even think any decent earning results this week is going to help. So yeah, so for me, I think I'm looking for shorts on the Dow. And what we will do is I will wait for the open. I'm not going to trade this before the American Open at 3:30 South African time. So what's that? So it's 1:30 GMT. I'll just wait for the physical open to see what's happening, because we'll have sort of a lot of up and down, up and down, up and down for the first hour. And then I'll trade that open range break. So whichever way it breaks, I'll trade in that direction. So yeah, so sitting on my hands for now until we have some direction. Anyway, guys, hope it helps. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you later.